Meet Dave of Delusions of Grandeur, actor, producer, and director of films like Tales of the Forgotten. He has come to assemble a team of freaks, geeks, and even worse, film nerds, to discuss films ranging from mainstream to downright crazy. There is Tammy, car enthusiast, and Dave's fiance, Dustin, reptile expert and overall horror collector, Jake, environmentalist and fine art film critic, and finally Brandon, a therapist with a love of film that can only be seen as insanity. Together under Dave's leadership, they are Inside Movies Galore. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Inside Movies Galore. And we started on this gravy train of NATO films back. I'm trying to remember the month that we started the Sharknado movies, but I believe it was April. But we started them in April. And then this last month we covered the rest of them, but because they were successful in their endeavor, other people attempted to get in on the money cow, and there were a slew of films that started calling themselves this and then NATO right after it, and this was one of them. It was called Catnado, and right now it is currently streaming on Tubi, just like Clown NATO is, and which we covered last week. And this one was headed and put together by Donald Farmer. Which is the big name on this. The second big name on here is Tim Ritter.
No relation.
No relation to Mr. Farmer, who resides as a discussional therapist here in this group of ours.
I wouldn't imagine Tim Ritter is related to him.
Well, no, Tim Ritter is not related to any of the Ritters that we know in Three's Company either. But I will say this: Tim Ritter. I had a discussion with Tim Ritter at one point in time, and he was around back when Blockbuster was still in its prime, and around when and part of the reason why our good friend Brad Sykes got his initial clown movies into Blockbuster, because he had a good deal going with Blockbuster, where they would go up and pinch hit films to Blockbuster and get the some independent films into Blockbuster for the very first time. So, that being said, there are 7 other directors involved with this film. I was looking at the list, and I know nada of the work that some of the rest of these. Although Curtis Everitt, I think I've heard that name before. The rest are unknowns to me. You got Alaine Huntington, Blair Kelly, James M. Myers, Melvin Pittman, Jerry Williams, Logan Winton, and all the others that I have mentioned. But let's see what IMDb says about the film. It's like Sharknado, but with cats.
False advertising.
Well, it's closer
False
to
advertising.
Sharknado than Clownnado was.
Yeah, but it's still false advertising. They gave me hopes and then they dashed my dreams.
And as far as stars go, the only
There are
one
stars in this?
as far as stars go, Rebecca Reinhardt is one that I've seen her name in a ton of films. She's done work in the independent film industry before. I'm looking at the other names here. Yeah, her name is the only one that I recognize out of the actors and actresses. But let's go into our first impressions. Let's start with you, Jake. Was this a first-time watch for you?
Yes, this definitely was a first time watch. I had never heard of this movie until you mentioned it. And we should also mention, I don't think you did mention that there were a lot of directors involved.
Yes,
But
9.
this is actually an anthology with is it 6 films in it? I think.
There are 9 directors.
Right.
So
but
there are supposedly, yes.
Yeah.
Donald Farmer is a legend.
We
have someone here saying Donald Farmer is micro budget legend and Alaine is a fine producer. So,
Okay.
I love the name. Have Cheeto will view. I love that. That is great. Perfect.
But Alaine is mentioned as a director here. I guess a producer behind it. But go ahead.
Okay. So, like I said, we've got, I think it's 6 movies. And so it's really hard to give an overall of the whole thing. Most anthologies kind of come and go. Some of the segments I found mildly amusing. Most of them were less so. Most of them got on my nerves for one reason or another. One that I will say is a slight exception is Nightmare at 10,000 Feet, and that's mostly because it's so short. It was very nice that there was one that was really short. And then there was Cosmic Catnado, which is the one Tammy mentioned that comes on after the credits when you're already asleep from boredom. And it was one film too many. I will say, whatever my overall ranking is, they did not need to have an entire short film after the credits. That was not good. Overall, there were a couple of moments that had me genuinely chuckle, although I don't think there was anything that made me laugh out loud. It did amuse me how the girl or woman, I guess, in this segment, Crimes and Felines, looked kind of like Tara Reid ate all her clones, or at least a few of them. I don't know if anyone else saw that, but I couldn't help but think that, especially because this is supposedly a Sharknado knockoff. And there was that one line that, yes, they can be. There was that one line that actually did amuse me enough that I put it in the chat, which was the what was the line? It was that I think it is that I am the fluff of death, and I have come for you. That amused me. There were a couple of moments, but overall, yeah, I think they tried a little harder to get the spirit of Sharknado than Clownnado did. I think Clownnado took itself a little more seriously. But I also feel like, as a general statement, it worked a little bit better as a movie. At least this one didn't have any gore, and most of the gore effects were so laughably bad that they might as well have not even been there. Most of the effects were so laughably bad that they might as well have not even been there. And there were a couple parts where that caused me to chuckle, like where they were literally throwing around stuffed cats in a couple of scenes.
I love that.
So there were a couple of parts that were okay, but overall, it was at least as big a waste of my time as Clownnado, and I will say that Cosmic Catnado was a complete waste of the 7 or 8 minute runtime. Yeah.
Okay, heading over to you, Tammy. Was this a first time watch for you?
Yes. I don't know. I thought I found it amusing. It was, like Jake said, the effects, nothing was really that gory, the one guy gets attacked, is getting attacked by a cat, and they shoot the cat, and you see a stuffed cat with blood around it. So that's not really that gory, Yeah, strange, but yet funny, but it was, I don't know, it was funny. I didn't mind watching it, really. It took care of my time at work.
Okay. Is that pretty much it then from you, at least as far as first impressions then?
Yeah, so far.
Okay. Heading over to you, Brandon. Was this a first time watch for you?
And just to acknowledge the comments from Have Cheetah Will View. Again, otherwise still love the name. I will agree that at least in my time, I have actually been featured in, I want to say, 3 anthologies now, and I'm working on one, and I've helped make 2. Dave being the major force behind them, and I will say they are definitely not easy to put together because you got to get in touch with a lot of filmmakers, you got to do all that. So I understand those things, to be sure. Just to say that. I have a magnet on my door at work with the laser cats on it. But any case, I will say that one of the first things I was thinking of whenever I thought of this was this clip here.
Warm, fluffy rice, Nyo. It's summer, Nyo. The beach, Nyo. Warm, fluffy rice, Nyo. It looks so yummy, like it was just cooked, Nyo. Huh?
I don't know why. I think that Digico would have been perfect for a Catnado short. But,
okay.
But yeah, this film, I've had it in my collection for a while, and never watched it. So I was kind of glad that Dave gave me an excuse to break that one out, much like Clownnado. And much like Clownnado, this one was slightly a disappointment. Mainly because I wasn't certain what I was getting into. I think if I had looked, because I really haven't seen a lot of Donald Farmer stuff. Again, no relation. I have seen Tim Ritter stuff, so I kind of would have known what I was getting into when I saw that name. I didn't know it was an anthology until I started watching it, and there were a few anthology pieces that I did find fun, and then there were some I did not find fun. But that's the whole point of an anthology, isn't it? Like, some are good, some are not so good. You have a much better chance at finding something you like in an anthology than a feature film, and you kind of like have the feature film all or nothing. But then again, you also have a great chance of finding something you won't like. So I will say I am mostly neutral to this because I've come out, I think, which is better than I would say Clownnado, because I did not like Clownnado. But I do think this one had potential, and I would watch again eventually.
I thought I'd seen Tim Ritter do something. I think I did see Sharks of the Corn. Yeah.
Yes, I think I have seen that. Was that the one that was like the Shark Exorcist? Was that the one with the sharks in the cornfield? No, that's Sharks in the Corn.
Yeah, Sharks of the Corn.
So many shark films.
Yeah.
No, Sharks in the Corn was a Tim Ritter film.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think I did see one of his films.
And oddly enough, when we talk about sharksploitation has gotten a physical release, which is a documentary about all those shark films.
Yeah, Donald Farmer was behind the Shark Exorcist films.
And I'll say this: they did interview Polonia, which is good because Polonia, in my opinion, is the king of sharksploitation. But with that said, I think that the movie was fun enough that I could watch it again. I did like it better than Clownnado, even though I will say Joel Wynkoop's part in that was still epic, and he should have been in this one instead.
Okay. And as far as my now, I was aware of the title of Catnado. I am aware of Donald Farmer as a director. I mean, I've seen his. I believe the earliest film of his that I have seen was his a version of. I'm looking it up here real quick. Savage Vengeance, and he was a very avid fan of the I Spit on Your Grave series. So at the time, I know that he had the same problem as I think Maximilian Serci. I think not Serci. He had a problem finding the original tapes, the original master tapes of the darn thing. And I remember watching it and watching Savage Vengeance and seeing some of the actresses blink while they were supposed to be dead. So early micro budget. He's definitely made mistakes, but he's also got a lot of films like Cannibal Hooker that has become a cult classic, and vice versa. I know his movie Savage Vengeance was remade recently, not too long ago. So having him behind it and whatnot is kind of cool. Okay, Brett Kelly would challenge Polonia for King of Sharksploitation films. I actually agree. Brett Kelly was a great director. If I remember correctly, he did a lot of films that ended up on a Shakarama box set back in the day or whatnot. But Brett Kelly was something else. But in any case, this was the first time seeing this film. I think there was only one short film that I entirely liked through the anthology. This was relatively bad. But I agree. There were moments where it was funny, like when the cats were talking to the human in the one, even though it slightly dragged because it was just the one person and the cat's talking to him or whatnot. I believe the actors in another one where the older guy ended up exploding the whole entire house or whatnot. I thought those guys were decent actors, but I guess we'll. I liked the look of the Catnado with the cats flying all around, and I got a kick out of the stuffed cats being thrown around. Other than that, I agree with you, Jake, about the last film. It was not really needed. I believe that one was definitely phoned in, some of the scenes, because you could tell that they were in totally different places wherever they were filming it. I realized what they were trying to do, and in order to get a anthology together, oftentimes you're calling different people and calling in favors and trying to get a darn film together in order to cash in on this project. So having the ability to get something filmed and something watchable is often a Punnett square of either you like it or you don't, or everything that works, So I'm not trying to defend any of these short films, but I do understand the painstaking process of getting actors together, relying on friends, and being able to come out with something that you're all okay with in the end, But that being said, let's get into the plot of this. So I do believe that it starts with that actress that I mentioned before, the only one that I remembered even remotely what her name was. Let's see. Going backwards. Here we go. Rebecca Reinhardt, who she's up against the back of a door, and she's telling us about the Catnado might come for you, and here are some stories that have to deal with the Catnado. Beware, that's pretty much what she's basically saying to everyone else. And the first story that we have is basically a woman dumps her boyfriend when her old lover gets out of jail. And even though there's reports of a Catnado forming, the two need cash. So they commit a few crimes before the warning sirens start howling. What do we think about this particular segment?
Or more like they plan to commit crimes. I say that in addition to looking like the Tara Reid swallowed all her clones, this woman seems to have a serious hard on for guys with weird fucking hair. You know, it's like both of her boyfriends had weird hair. The one guy looked like he was just wearing a wig wrong, and that was probably on purpose, I'm sure. But yeah.
Okay, so what do we think about how the tale ended? Where they were okay, so while he was in jail, he heard someone getting boinked, talking about how his mom had basically made their mattress up of like money, and so, and I think they said that it was like in Versailles.
That because that's a perfectly normal thing to scream out while you're having sex, you know.
Well, yeah, obviously. So, he convinces her to come along with him to this house, and they're about to break in, and a Catnado forms and I guess attacks them.
Yeah.
So, what do y'all think about that? The story, the acting.
Yeah.
I mean, the initial Catnado story, I felt like that was the start of everything, and it kind of applied to everything in a lot of ways. Like that was the catalyst that basically applies to all the other films. Like this old woman forming a Catnado with her weird stuff. The only thing that goes against it is the one is that crazy one where they had like the pet vaccines or something that was causing it.
Yeah. That one definitely seemed.
I think they were blaming it on the COVID vaccine.
No, they said there was specifically a vaccine for cats.
There's a vaccine for cats.
Yeah, but I feel like they were riffing off of that whole idea. Definitely.
I feel like this was a film that was done during the height of COVID.
Was it? It might have been. When did this one? This was 21, right? 22. Yeah, so they probably started it at least during that time.
Yeah. So, that's why I think the whole vaccine one kind of was like a punching jab at the whole. Okay, we're sick of this COVID, and half of us don't believe in the vaccine and type of reaction to the whole thing. But that's something that we can get to. Tammy, was there anything that you wanted to add to this first segment here?
Well, they stole money from this lady that was, I think, taking care or part of a cat shelter. So I thought it was like kind of fitting in the end that they got what they got because she got the money back to go take care of the cats.
Yeah. This woman, they have scenes in PetSmart, and she gets the money from I guess she's picking up collections for pets or whatever.
Yeah.
But they wait until she leaves, and then they jump her in the park, and I'm like, that's just not right. You should have knocked off PetSmart. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next story, which is the next segment has two guys who get into a car crash, and
That's Men, I think, is
they
the next.
must run into the woods to escape the approaching Catnado.
So this one had me a different feelings. Like, hey, that story had no business being in a Catnado film because the story had too much seriousness to the tone.
Right.
I think that if this was in a better film, and you could have actually expanded this, had it into a more serious horror film, and made this into something decent. But the fact that we have the Catnado in the room, it kind of hurts it, because otherwise I thought it was actually a very well done short. Otherwise, take the Catnado out and put something less oddball in it, and maybe you would have something really good.
Of course, there's also the incredible convenience, the incredible contrived convenience that the dude rear ends his own brother-in-law, and then when they're running, he gets run over by, I think was she the brother-in-law? I lost track of who she was, but she was related. And it's like either there's no one else in that town, or or that's just like the worst karmic luck possible. I don't know. It seemed really weird to me once they got into the layers and everything of like, wow, what are the odds?
Like, you could have made that into a zombie film or something like that, and they're hiding out with that, and they have to rehash stuff. You could have done something with that would actually have been there, but I don't know. Hiding from a Catnado.
Yeah, I agree. Tonally, this was just it was a weird fit.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to have the guy in the shelter talking to the cats. That was much more of a cat. That much more fit the thing than this one did.
Yeah.
This one was the one that felt out of place the most in this entirety.
Yeah, it did kind of feel out of place, but it did seem like it was acted rather decently.
The acting was better in this one than in most of them. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then another man takes refuge in his basement and reads the Bible as the Catnado ravages his neighborhood.
And that was it Storm Windows? Was that the name of it?
I believe so. And can he find salvation when talking cats sneak into his house?
Yeah. And that one was the one that probably amused me the most, because there was that one great line of I am Fluffy, I am the fluff of death, and I have come for you. And also, I don't know if anyone else felt this, but I felt like the other cat reminded me very much. He had this weird freaking accent, and it sounded to me like Klaus from American Dad and the bear character from the Cleveland Show mashed up into one. So in other words, Seth MacFarlane doing a bad accent, basically, is what it sounded like to me. And it was barely intelligible at times. But the cats amused me in that one. The guy, not so much. That was some of the worst acting in the whole anthology.
Yes.
But yeah.
It's oddly enough, though not my favorite of the shorts. That one was definitely the most amusing to me.
Right.
Well, that and the plane. But
yeah, I felt like I was watching like one of those videos on not Twitter or X or whatever the heck they're calling that now. but I've seen many different like just the other day, Tammy sent me something where a turtle was chasing a cat, and he was acting like he was Pepe Le Pew, or whatnot.
The
And
turtle was Pepe
you
Le
heard the
Pew?
voice. You heard the voice of the guy, and it was funny, you know. But the guy here that was, it's like he woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and you got Ben Stein doing the voice, you know. But in any case, after, well, I thought I found the talking cats amusing myself. So, although that one, the pacing was a little, because it was just one guy in his basement. So,
Which is not necessarily a bad thing. Again, like
no,
Brandon was saying before, if you took what was good about the short and just made it a short and not necessarily part of an anthology that had to, you know, it could have been a really solid short. Some better acting from the guy would have definitely helped.
Yeah. I think that sometimes you can do something a lot even on your own. I mean, shoot, I've put together mildly funny shorts that made the cut for anthology features, just, you know, doing something like right off the cuff. I mean, I had 2 shorts featuring Amityville Apocalypse, most of which were spur of the moment. I don't think I scripted either one. Maybe Amityville Acts. No, actually, no, I did not script Amityville.
I was going to say, that's the one you scripted?
Yeah, I guess the one I came closest to scripting was Amityville Estate Sale, but you know, even that Amityville Acts was like all like basic. But I thought both of those were very fun shorts. I still laugh my ass off whenever I see that short, and I see Jake sitting there with that doll laughing at.
Okay, so the next segment is called Apocalypse Meow.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's 2 men who they survive the cat plague, but
Was
somehow the vaccine that stopped the plague leads to the Catnado.
Was that the next one?
Yes, unless you're talking about it, unless you're thinking maybe there was an old lady that gives a Monsters from Hell monologue.
Well, no, because I feel like the cat burglar was the next one, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Because I thought Apocalypse Meow was like the last big one before the credits,
No.
wasn't it?
That was next.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So was the cat burglar last then? That doesn't. Maybe it was.
Oh, as far as just to answer the thing, we were doing a Sharknado month in April, and we finished it up as our theme for this month. So we had 2 tornado movies left to cover. So we ended up covering Catnado and Clownnado. I'm not exactly sure what led Dave to his choice of Catnado and Clownnado.
Part of it was to put it forward and see. Well, I'd never seen it, and I love independent movies, and I love to give them a chance. And I think all films deserve at least a one-time watch, if not a possible discussion. So, I mean, we're not here to entirely hate on these films or anything like that. Just have a decent intellectual conversation. So,
such as one can.
Well, yeah, but you have to understand that a lot of these films that we're watching, they are independent, and they're the stepping stones to the much bigger and larger films out there. So everybody's got to start somewhere. uh, which means you got to give some of these independent films some little bits of respect if they are initially just starting out, you know. So not everyone's first is going to be their best, and not everyone's anthology is going to work for everyone. So
as far as the Apocalypse Meow thing, normally I don't like seeing anyone killing cats because I'm a cats fan,
Right.
because I have cats. But they managed to make it enjoyable. Not killing the cats enjoyable, but managed to make the actual short enjoyable. So I gotta give them that.
This
There's
was
just
one where they were.
There's just something absurd about it. And unlike the other one, which was very serious, but it felt out of place, this one was taking itself seriously to comedic effect, which perfectly fit the role, in my opinion.
The flinging of the the flinging of the stuffed cats definitely helped in that.
I also thought it was hilarious. I also thought it was very hilarious with the whole thing where they actually they stole the person's water guns. Then they had them getting caught by the little kid, so they had to take out the kid.
Yeah, that was kind of.
That just amused me.
It was amusing in a very sick, twisted way. Yes, but yeah, but I like the idea because again, we come back to that theme that Clownado touched on of actually trying to damage and destroy the storms. And apparently, I guess water guns are enough to hurt the Catnado.
all right.
That's like, what? So, yeah, that is that kind of absurd that is fun.
I even remember a woman's voice shouting something like, "Why are you stealing my water gun?"
Right. Well, yeah. And then they kill, yeah. But and I mentioned before about the laughable effects or lack thereof. Like in this case, it was a lack thereof. There's like the part where the guy's cat, where they first find out that, oh, this problem is hit home, and this guy who's a cat lover becomes militarized against cats, is when his own cat turns on them, and they both get mauled by this cat, and there's nothing. No blood, no nothing afterwards. They're like insta-healed. And it's like, y'all didn't even try to fake injuries here. And in a sense, I thought that was kind of amusing. But
yes, that was ultimately amusing.
The biggest issue I had with this short, I think, other than the killing cats, which I agree with Brandon, I have trouble getting fully on board with that mission, is the constant stream of crass sexual innuendos. Usually I don't mind a fair bit of that, but they were going low brow with this short, and I feel like it was on purpose, but still.
Okay, so the next short after Apocalypse Meow is their attempt at spoofing a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Called Nightmare at 10,000 Feet.
Mm-hmm.
Where I guess there's a bunch of missing cat flyers, and a person with a weird mask has been abducting them.
No, that was the cat burglar.
The cat burglar is next. So I love how the person is got a white wig on. You can see the hair underneath the wig,
mm-hmm.
and he or she has got the cat mask on.
Right.
And you got the two cops that are making feline jokes that are making comedic because they're not taking the situation seriously.
One of them more than the other.
One of them was, one of them wasn't, and the other was making feline jokes. I thought they were amusing a little bit. Of course, at the end of the whole thing, I guess the cat burglar wielded a gun, shot one of the officers, and I guess they saw the Catnado off in the distance. So, and then of course after that is the Nightmare at 10,000.
Don't forget that they shot and killed the cat
Correct. They shot and killed the cat burglar.
Yeah.
What did y'all think about that short film?
Yeah.
I was amused by the Nightmare at 10,000 feet, though.
Yeah,
that one I liked. I thought it was funny.
well, like I said, that one was short, which was nice. And the use of cats was basically a person in a bad cat costume. So it brings Cats to mind, which, of course, if you're going to have
a musical.
Yes. So if you've got cats involved, then yes, Nightmare becomes very appropriate.
Well, I guess it was some cat that was out on the plane wing this time. But
that's
they make reference to, like, I guess it was, they said, like, leftover Catnados or some such thing. Like, yeah.
So it amused me, at least for the moment. I mean, I know they were totally spoofing the Twilight Zone episode that William Shatner was famous for. And actually, that what's entirely interesting about that particular episode is that was based on a little bit of some of his real fear of fear of flying.
Wasn't it John Lithgow in the movie version? Or am I remembering it wrong?
I'm trying to remember. Had to have been
that movie.
Yeah, I have the movie, but
well, I was saying I know Brandon knows it because his dad loved that movie.
What, Twilight Zone movie?
Yeah.
Yes, great movie, but not as happy, not as great as he puts it. But I did like the movie.
Right, but am I remembering correctly that remake of that episode was John Lithgow, or am I?
Yes, John Lithgow.
Yeah.
A younger John, much younger John Lithgow, but yes.
Much younger.
Yes. Much younger. But ultimately, we have after that particular episode, then we've got then the movie wraps up with the cosmic Catnado.
Well, we have the credits, and we all think, "Yay, it's over," and then it's not.
Yeah, we have a Marvel movie moment at the end of
Marvel
this.
Movie moments are usually either very brief stingers that you're like, I waited through the credits for this, or they're actually a short but good scene that sets something up. This was a whole short film that was as long as a couple of the others and longer than that Nightmare at 10,000 feet. It was tedious. It was dull. It was like they should have done Nightmare at 10,000 feet as the stinger at the end. And that would have ended it nicely, you know?
Yeah, I think they misappropriated the order of things in this anthology at the end of things. He should have actually watched each of the shorts and then been like, and then thought things better. But unfortunately, we can't always sit like the thinker. Anyways.
We don't all have Phillips vision, unfortunately. It would be great if we did.
Yeah.
So, at the end of everything, is there anything else that we wanted to add about any of these short films? Tammy, did you have anything to add about any of the short films we have mentioned?
That's not really so far.
Okay. So, talking about production, let's start with you, Tammy. What did you think about production so far, or overall?
Well, I guess that I guess it was good that they used stuffed cats. Then we know that, because then we know no cats were hurt. Um, it's obvious that they did not have much of a budget. I and thinking about that, I guess you got to kind of give them credit that using what they had, which they didn't really have much, but so when they were having, I mean, the tornado itself looked cool. I guess using the stuffed cats as what attacked people was a good idea because of their budget and everything. So I don't know.
I mean, they even had point of view shots, at least in the one, where it kind of
Yeah.
looked like there were claws attacking some of the
Oh,
people.
those were so bad.
Yeah, but it looked good to me. So
Yeah. The IMDb,
mean,
I believe, said there was a 100K was the budget, I think, according to IMDb. So they
Man,
spent money on this, but not a lot.
I guess you
100K
just got to
is huge
say that
compared to
it
what I thought
was.
it was.
Yeah.
But
What's
they
that?
did what they could with. I think they did what they could with what they had, and it is what it is. I mean, I think it was better than Clown. It was funnier. It was it, and they did have some real kitties in there.
yeah, they did have some real kitties in there. Okay, heading over to you, Jake. What did you think about production overall?
Well, like I said, there were parts where it was bad. I did not like those point of view shots because they were just so bad. The Catnado itself kind of amused me. It could have been better, but for if they're going super cheesy, low budget, it worked. It worked for what they were going for, I think. Overall, beyond that, the way things like using the stuffed animals in a couple of shots, or having the character that looks like a reject from Cats, those were clear budget inspired things that were good, that worked for the campy, humorous tone that I think they were going for. Yeah, but overall, it didn't strike me as being all that different from what one might expect from a micro budget film. I would think with 100K, they probably could have gone a little harder on getting it to look good, but other than that, I think they did fine.
Okay, heading over to you, Brandon. What were your thoughts on the overall production of it all?
Well, if it was $100,000, the budget, I gotta wonder where that went. Because I like micro budget film a lot, and I've seen many micro budget films. A good example of a creator that I could tell you, Steve Rudzinski, who in my opinion is probably one of the most interesting creators in the field when it comes to this. He doesn't usually get to 100,000. I think I'm pretty sure that maybe Carousel might have come close, but again, that movie had way higher production value numbers than here. Now, that being said, if I was to look at this from $1,000 budget perspective, I would say this was pretty good overall. Yes, Carousel. Actually, I love the entire Carousel trilogy. Yes, and Steve Rudzinski is a very quality in what he does with the money. This, I guess the money had to have been used on that and creating that CG tornado that they shared throughout the entirety of the feature.
Yeah.
But because that's all I can think of. I mean, when you've got a micro budget film, you do with what you've got. I mean, I've directed one myself, actually, yeah, two, but one technically. And I will say you work with what you've got, and a lot of people did that, and some people utilized it to comedic appeal, like that Apocalypse Now one. That one was hilarious. But I mean, there are various things like locations and things like that may have come into play. I mean, there's a whole bunch of those types of things that could have. I'd be curious to see how it broke down. A making of Catnado, if you will. But
yeah,
I mean, as far as films go, it was all right. I mean, there were some things that looked okay, though I did not like Clownado. I think that Clownado looked like a higher budget film in a lot of ways. Maybe not, though. If this was 100K, then probably not. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, is he Ouija Shark? Good example. Nowhere near 100K. So that's the thing is I've seen a lot. I mean, House Shark wasn't 100K. Do you know how much that monster, the one that got the Arrow release, the
like Michigan Monster?
Yeah, I wonder how much that budget was.
I'm pretty sure it was more than that, but I don't know.
It could have been more than that. But then again, it could have been done for less than that, depending on what they did, if they were creative. So it just strikes me as odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on the $100,000 budget, which is what IMDb claims that was the estimate.
IMDb claims that Lake Michigan Monster cost $7,000 to make.
So I mean,
it's a big disparity.
Hold those two movies side by side.
Lake Michigan Monster was much better. Much better production too.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely, and I would call that kind of an art piece.
Don't get it wrong. I think this movie was fun in a lot of ways, and I did enjoy it enough to watch it again. And I mean, shoot, part of my channel is reviewing these darn things, but 100,000, my goodness, I'm hoping they got the number wrong.
Yeah.
I am hoping they got the number wrong because that just makes a good example. I was talking about Carousel. Carousel had a budget of $10,000, and the effects on Carousel blew this out of the water. So it can't be right. It just that cannot be right. So,
Right.
but if you took that figure out of it, I was going to say it looks pretty good for a micro budget film, but it looks pretty bad for a 100K film. So let's take it that way.
And like I said, as far as production goes, I liked the look of the Catnado. I mean, yes, they shared it throughout the thing, but I kind of agree with you, Brandon, that I feel like that's where the budget went. It can't have gone much of anywhere else because you got to think of quality over quantity.
It was the stuffed cat budget.
Yeah,
I'm
it
sure
was
part of I was going to say, I'm sure a big part of it might have been permitting for filming.
Yeah,
But
that was my other thought, was like locations, maybe, especially if they're going above board. We can't all do pirate filmmaking like
well, and like I said, I think that this film was being put together during the height of COVID, or at least the height of the end of COVID, when things were starting to come back. Because the last film on the thing, that looked like something that would have come out of the COVID era of filmmaking, because that looked like a whole bunch of people were asked to film something that with a little bit of a script, and send it to me in an email,
so
kind of thing.
I do wonder how much, if we added it up, how much the budget for Tales of the Forgotten Act 1 would be, because you'd have to do the budget for each of the shorts and add it to the whole.
I didn't really spend any money.
Well, I mean, you didn't, but like, what about the people? I mean, how much money did each director of the shorts spend? Because that would be part of it.
Yes, that probably would be, and I honestly not sure. The amount of budget for each. I know Pandora had a little bit of a budget.
Well, that cookie one was also pretty high budget. That was very
Yes.
Tarantino-esque.
But that was also a student film from a director here in Milwaukee. That is no longer in Milwaukee. I think he's in California somewhere, and I know he's working on bigger and better things. So, but
And to think that he started out on your film, Dave.
well, I'm kind of glad that he gave me permission.
Yeah.
On the first one. So I tried to keep the first one kind of Wisconsin based, somewhat. But in any case, as far as production went in this film, there just wasn't enough production for me to entirely be wowed about on the film, unfortunately, except for maybe the Catnado itself. Now, I did give them credit for being amusing with some of their cat voices. I thought that throwing around some cat stuffed animals was amusing, but other than that, that's where that it goes. Now, I did hear a little bit of music throughout.
I don't remember. I'm gonna lie.
I wasn't really paying attention to it, but see if I can go backwards. See if I can't find.
I didn't really notice much, honestly.
I wonder how much of the budget went to music.
Well, I'm looking to see if they even have anyone that's sound department. only has one person. Music department. Tra De Joker, Magicians of the Cookie, and Tim Ritter were somewhat behind the music.
Yeah. I mean,
I remember seeing that name, Magicians of the Cookie, and going,
I like the name.
yeah.
But
So-
I think we are at the favorite scenes and favorite characters moment. So I'm going to start with you, Brandon. Favorite scenes and or favorite characters.
So Apocalypse Meow is definitely my favorite of the shorts. But you know, it's seconded by that one where where the guy's sitting in the bunker with the cats talking in his head. Because you know, obviously it was part of his own mental health illness issue. Favorite characters? Really? I would say the fluff cat from the hallucination thing.
Okay. What about you, Tammy? Favorite scene or scenes and our favorite character?
Favorite character is any of the live cats.
Okay.
Favorite scene? I think it's the apocalypse one where the stuffed cats are all falling on the truck and go flying in the truck, and the hairballs are falling.
Okay. Is that it then?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Jake?
Well, it sounds like we're doing segments rather than scenes. And if we're doing that, I think my favorite segment is probably Nightmare at 10,000 Feet. Just because it was short and to the point, and it did amuse me pretty consistently. Even though it was probably one of the weaker ones in terms of a film, as a short, it was pretty funny. And favorite moment definitely is that one line that cat had where he said, "I am the fluff of death, and I am come for you." That was great. And I'm going to have to say the Fluffy Kitty is probably my favorite character in the movie.
It reminded me of Rosie.
A little bit, yes. A little more evil than Rosie, but you know.
You don't know what she's thinking.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing. You don't know what she's thinking most of the time. This cat wore it on her face. You can tell.
Okay. So I think my favorite characters are I think my favorite character is the gremlin cat on the Nightmare at 10,000 feet. That was my favorite character. But if I had to take favorite scenes, I'm gonna steal a bit of yours, Jake, and a bit of Tammy's, and mix them up, because I did like the moment in Apocalypse Meow when the hairballs and the stuffed cats got in there. But I do like that one liner. I am the fluffy thing of death, and I am come for you. A moment. And I have to agree with you, Brandon, that my favorite short of the whole thing was Apocalypse Meow. So I thought those two together. I wouldn't even mind like a longer film from Apocalypse Meow. Like if someone took that and made it into a bigger film. or something of that nature. But in any case, did anyone else have anything else to add? Alrighty. Then hopefully you ladies and gentlemen who have been following along with us have enjoyed our discussion on the film. If you have not seen the film, go out and see it. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of the film, what you thought of our discussion, and we'll definitely see you guys this coming month for another. Well, I believe that we're actually going to be covering some different films. But let's go around and let the ladies and gentlemen that are out there listening to us a little bit about ourselves. So, Jake, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I am Kotobukijake. I am the sometime co-host of the YouTube channel SeptumSin versus the World, and most of the time, sorry, I'm very tired most of the time. No, I keep very busy. I have 40-hour work, but spent a lot of time the last few days outside because we've actually had a break in the weather, so I'm having to do a lot of yard work and garden and whatnot. I do try to, I've got various other projects, one of which I've been working on today. Website I hope to get up live eventually. And just not enough hours in the day for everything trying to get done. And I do try to make time each week to watch movies to join these folks and get sometimes I get exposed to stuff I would never have seen otherwise. Look forward to a change of pace next month, though. Although I cannot, for the life of me, remember what the theme is. So we'll find out.
The theme is Dracula, and a lot of them are from Hammer.
Okay. Now that might be fun. That might be fun. Yeah.
But I'm sure Brandon will let us know once it's his turn. But Tammy, did you want to tell them a little bit about yourself and what you do?
I go on this channel and another one with David and listen to everybody's thoughts, ideas on the different movies. And it's still summertime, so I'm enjoying having my car out at the car shows.
Alrighty. And then heading over to you, Brandon. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
I'm trying to get my own little Catnado out. Thanks to Have Cheetah Will View for hanging out with us this time.
Definitely. And we go on around the same time every Monday. So,
yep, same place. Usually a little after 9 every 9 Eastern time, 8 Central. Every Monday.
And indeed, it is hard to go wrong with Dracula.
But yeah, I'm SeptumSin of SeptumSin versus the World. We are all about the physical media here. Every week on a Wednesday, I usually have a pickup running. Every Thursday, we usually have a review running, but I've been kind of doing a vacation run, which covers my trip to Europe. But worry not. Once I get back into it, after that particular one, I'm actually going to start back with reviews. I tend to do a lot of micro-budget film reviews, and this particular review that I'm starting off next will be Wally Meets Popeye from the Silver Spotlight. And I also have one that's upcoming from Dave's anthology, Tales of the Forgotten. So those, I've already got them script written. I'm just going to film them and do some editing on it. But usually, unless I'm doing them for people, I almost always cover films that I want others to know about or see at some level or another. So usually you can see some of those as suggestions. But if you want to see some reviews that are a little bit closer to that, I do the Anhedenia project, where I cover every film that Evan Jacobs ever directs. And there were two, actually, that were out recently. Incel, which yours truly does have a part in, and not as the incel. and then of course, finally, Amityverse, which Evan Jacobs has a short in, and I actually have a short in the sequel, which will be fun. But other than that, of course, this coming month we've got a month dedicated to Hammer's Dracula films, and we've got 5 Mondays in September. So that's 5 Dracula movies, all taken chronologically, starting with Horror of Dracula, which also is known as Dracula. That's 58. Then Brides of Dracula, which is 1960. Dracula, Prince of Darkness, 1966. Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, 1968. And ending it off on Taste the Blood of Dracula, 1970. So Horror of Dracula will be our first run for it. So fun stuff.
Very cool.
Oh, yeah, definitely check him out. I mean, if it's channel name, definitely. Like I say, that channel name, you can't go wrong. That is cool.
Very cool.
Yes.
I've asked Donald Farmer for an interview, just never gotten around to having an interview with him. But I have also interviewed a lot of people on this channel myself, so it's cool to meet another interviewer.
I need to one day interview him myself, just because we have the same last name.
But in any case, my name is David Streggy. I'm one of the founding fathers of Inside Movies Galore. So thank you for coming along with us on this fantabulous journey we've been having. It's been a pleasure to discuss movies with these people and be able to have something to look forward to every week. But I do stuff on a different channel. Kyle, are you talking about Rappaport?
He's always invited to come on stream when he gets, but he has to let us know beforehand. But he's not officially a part of our group, but he does come on occasionally to.
Yeah, he's always officially invited, but he has his own channel stuff that he does, and I've been on his show before.
As have I.
At least once. I know I plan on being on his show a little bit more. But I do moonlight under a different channel called Delusions of Grandeur, where I do some video pickups and video reviews from time to time. It's been a while since I've reviewed movies myself, mainly because I've been actually the last couple of years putting together a couple of anthologies and got busy with life. So, but I am a producer of quite a few films, whatnot. But I do on Sundays normally another podcast with my fiance and a friend of mine who has actually been part of my anthologies that I've been filming or had filmed, and we go on and discuss various films as well there. And I enjoy talking about films of all kind there as well. So hopefully you get a chance to check out that channel and this channel. And I know we're going to be coming back this Sunday. We were on a 2-week hiatus with Delusions of Grandeur. So, and I'm eventually going to be releasing Act 2 to Tales of the Forgotten, and just have to sit down and watch the master copies, and then get a new date out there and whatnot. So, but other than that, I'm looking forward to next week and seeing my love host her movies that she put forward.
Please purchase Dave's film, the Tales of the Forgotten Act 1. I would love to see that film move on shelves.
I would love to see it move on shelves too, but I might actually have to hit up someone we both know in order to get some of those moving product wise.
But there is a link below if you want. Right now, the link below in the notes is the only way to get Tales of the Forgotten. My film Amityville Webcam can be purchased at that link, which is the most direct way to get the filmmaker money. But if you prefer like SRS Cinema, that's up on there. And if you like Kyle, his film, what was his film? Shekel Demon Project is also available at that link, but also on SRS. So but always good to support indie creators on those.
Yep, most definitely. So if you get a chance, check out the links. I would definitely be glad to have at least a review of the Tales of the Forgotten film. I know it was painstaking to put together, and definitely my first attempt at putting together a watchable film. But it is what is it? Almost a 3-hour film.
So, very long anthology film.
Yes. So, but in any case, like, share, and subscribe, and hope to see you next week. Listening with us, got the time, and I know that we will always enjoy talking with each other on these films. So, everyone, say good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Inside movies galore, just makes you just want more. We've had all in the world of media to explore. Horror, anime, or Curious George. Our love of new things was our reward. It is the best night of our week.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.